In this video, I'm going to show how in the sample application version 1, how with the checklist items, you're able to do the swipe and the double tap, in addition to being able to do this. So basically, we've added this extra capability. So in another video, we show how this editor up here is constructed. But now let's look about how these items are done. We'll go over here and go down to the form view. And in the form view, we can look at these items. And you see that it's editor set 1, editor checklist item. And it's set as a normal for like normal editing. And if you look in the form layout, though, you see that it is a custom item. The control type is custom item rather than just label that picks up a normal like a star edit or something. This is a custom item. And the custom item, the particular custom item that was chosen is item swipe check. So if we go over here to the items, we see swipe check, and that's the item name. And the type is that it's data bound, and it is selectable. And we say that when it is selected, the class name, as was explained in the other video, is checklist item selected, and that's how it gets that blue around it when you tap on it. But it has, because it's data bound, it inherits from star edit. You can inherit from a variety of different other types of built-in items. In this case, it will do what the normal edit does, where you tap on it, but it says that the event to call the item is on select. So on select, do the normal thing, which is bring up the editor. Okay, but for on click or on double click or on swipe, do the specific code. So let's look at this code. And well, first let me show you about my data. In the client-side events, when initialization is complete, dialog object.myData is set to an empty object. This is used in this particular application for holding data that we need to share with the editors and things of that sort. And it is sometimes it's set by when you bring up an editor. Sometimes it's set by the editor itself. So let's go back here, and we'll go back to the item. And if we look at on click, we see that when we click, here's some comments, we're trying to detect the double click. Okay? So what we say is that myData.tapped twice the same is set to false. Whether this existed or not doesn't matter, it is set to false. What I'm trying to figure out is, have I tapped on the same item twice in a row? Okay? It doesn't matter how much time is between them. What matters is that I typed on them twice in a row. So if there is a last tapped field, let's say if there wasn't a last tap field, because that's how it starts, then we set the last tap field to V, and V is the attribute on the template, which would be the name of the field in this case. So we'll remember what the last field was that you tapped on. Next time I come through, if there was a last tap, I say is the last tap the same as the one I get this time? If so, then tapped twice the same is true. In both cases, we always remember what the last one is. So basically, what this simple code does is figure out, have I tapped twice on the same thing? Okay. Now, when you double click, you get one click, then another click, and then the double click is fired if those two taps are close enough together in time. So all I say here is, if you tapped twice the same, And it just so happened that the last one you tapped on is the same one as the double tap coming in. Then do editor cancel. This brings down the editor that may have been brought up by the original taps. And then we do on this dot form, which is one of the things that we get from this, is one of the values that comes in. We get form view update, which basically says set it to null. Because remember, in this case, double tap sets it to blank, to nothing for the value. It's not fail and it's not pass. And then we select that that particular form, that particular item, so now we can see it up in top. And that's when you double tap, it then selects it up on top. So that's what this one does. If we look here at on swipe, it says form view select, deselect, so there should be nothing selected at this point, okay? And then form view update for this form, for this particular field. Now arguments for, as it says here, is the event object, and arguments for .swipe direction is the direction of the swipe. Well, if it's left, then it's fail. Otherwise, set the value to pass, and that will set the value of that field. And then editor cancel, because the way we have this set up, when you do the swipe, it gets rid of any editor that shows on top. Optionally, you could select it and go to the next one, or so you could do swipe, 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 and you can see it selected. But the problem there is that it doesn't look as good, I think, with the selection showing. So that's all we needed to do here to make this work. And so by using the custom item, and if we go back to running it, we see a swipe, a double tap. Does that. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much.